everybody. Welcome back to another Some Kind of Monkey podcast. Dan, Matt, Shawn. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Pretty good.
All right.
Ready for episode 1.
Yeah, me too. You guys seen episode 0? It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the crap out of it.
I'd like to say it's pretty good. Hopefully this one will be a little better quality, but, you know.
I think we fixed that problem.
Should we start out like last time? What are we drinking? I've got Alaskan Brewery IPA, 6.2% alcohol by volume. It's pretty good.
I got Lucky Buddha and Enlightened beer.
I'm drinking the same thing as this guy right here. A little Buddha bottle, holding his little nut thingy on the top, whatever it is.
So cheers, everybody.
What do we start off with shots of?
We celebrated a birthday today, Shawn's birthday, and each had a little bit of the Yamazaki 12-year aged single malt whiskey.
All right, since Shawn's new to the podcast, why don't you tell people out there what you do for a living and what kind of education you got and where you kind of got like your games.
My name's Shawn. I'm, I guess, technically a biologist. My degree's in biology, emphasized in reptiles and amphibians. I'm a zookeeper. I run an animal division stockroom here in Milwaukee. And gaming-wise, it really varies. It's a lot of fighting games, a lot of first-person shooters, and just currently anticipating Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
I think everybody is, right?
I'm anticipating this shit out of it. I can't wait.
I think we'll probably talk about it quite a bit in the coming months.
Yes.
Start off with some news.
Yeah.
Just today, Microsoft announced that Xbox One release date, which is, what did they say? 22nd?
The 22nd.
November
yes.
22nd. So just in time for the new Call of Duty to come out.
Yeah, a lot of... 7 days later than the PS3 or PS4 in the US, but it'll be out before the PS4 around the world.
Yeah.
Because Xbox is doing a multiple launch simultaneously everywhere. So when they come out with theirs in Europe, I think this is the whole major point they're doing it. With FIFA coming out with the system, it's going to be explode out there. There's no way that the game's not going to explode because everybody buys it out there like they buy it from Madden here or Call of Duty.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how that pans out. I don't know if PlayStation comes out November 15th. It's $100 cheaper, and it's going to have a week advantage.
Yeah.
How's that going to affect them, you think?
I don't think it will because everyone still pre-ordered their system they want anyways. You know, I pre-ordered my Xbox. I plan on getting an Xbox before I get PS4 because I'm used to their system. I want to keep my achievements going, you know. I have the PS3, but I don't have, like, the same amount of trophies and shit that I do, so I want to keep it flowing.
It'll be a while before I can afford a new system, but it's probably going to be PS4. I did see another interesting thing I saw earlier today was that Sony was announcing, like a rumor of a virtual reality set. I didn't see anything concrete, you know, rumor of course, but a lot of that rumor stuff usually comes true. So
A rumor for what?
for the virtual reality set.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, IGN had one on their website showing you a picture of what it looked. It actually had a Sony logo on it. It was black and white. Because Machinima was talking about how it was with Oculus Rift, but Oculus Rift's just a PC thing. And they were actually talking about how one of their racing games it'll be attached to, most likely, because the way the demo was set up and they showed the video on it, you could look inside the cabin of the car and see all like the detail and look at like the dashboard. So I don't know if that would make a racing game more fun, because I'm really not into racing games.
Yeah, I haven't played. I don't really get into racing games. I do have one on my. We're going to do top 10 lists towards the latter half of the podcast. I've got one racing game as an honorable mention in my list here. One of my favorite racing games ever. What else have we got? What else has been happening? Diablo 3 came out Tuesday for the consoles.
Not sure it's going to kill on the consoles. I think the controls are a little too complex to be dumbed down to a controller.
Yeah. And I didn't get Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Because my computer can't run it and I'm a cheap asshole. Played so much Diablo 2. Loved Diablo 2. We would stay up till 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And just scour for treasure nonstop. It consumed everything. That's why I never got World of Warcraft, and I don't want to pay for getting my life sucked away.
I think that's why I'm not going to play Oblivion Online, because I played so much of the first Oblivion, or, you know, like, whatever they're going to call Elder Scrolls Online. It's just going to be way too much.
Have you seen the preview for the new Diablo expansion?
No, I haven't, because again, I didn't play it, so it's like,
It didn't work.
I don't
I
want to get invested in it. And yeah, with consoles, I don't really. And I read a review that you're not using, you know, the right stick to aim and the left stick to move. You kind of move the left stick in the direction of the enemy you want to attack, and then just mash attack, which I think is probably going to cause problems when you got a swarm coming around.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. So I'm glad I can leave that one alone and just
I'll continue to
reminisce on my
play
glory
on
days
PC.
of Diablo 2.
Yeah, I never really played any of the Diablos online. I played the story mode with Shawn when, God, that was a long time ago, when you still lived with your mom in Delafield. We played the story mode, yeah, Diablo 2, and we played Warcraft back then. Warcraft
That was
2?
Warcraft. No, in Delafield would have been 3.
It was a Warcraft 3. Yeah, we played that, the story mode, and then I never played the online of any of it.
Yep.
Just never got into it.
Never was big on the PC games, except for Diablo.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I like Diablo and the
But I want to play
real-time
Shadowrun.
strategies.
Yeah.
Shadowrun online looks really fun.
Yeah.
Shadowrun has me curious.
Yeah.
So eventually, hopefully, we can
Here's
all get it. Create some campaigns we can send out.
Here's some news. Xbox One pre-orders are back in stock. You can now purchase Day 1 editions.
Did you bring the computer
Across the
just so
globe.
you could do real-time news?
No. I brought it down for a couple of things, but this is one reason why it's good.
So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Diablo 3 on consoles thing. They did. I remember when they brought out Diablo 1 on PlayStation 1. And it really was not the same. Like, you know, I played it for a little bit, and then it was like,
beautiful.
oh, the butcher, and you're like, oh, it's really not cool on here.
Yeah.
It was just not.
with you.
I don't think it's suitable. What else? You're gonna have a huge overlap with the two the current generation and the next generation around the holidays.
Well, yeah,
So there's gonna be the logjam of all this great software coming out, and the companies on a game-by-game basis are doing this upgrade thing.
yeah. This is what I heard. I don't know where you're going to have to do to take it in or not, but like, say you would buy a Madden game now, because Madden 25 is out, and you buy Xbox One or PlayStation, you want to trade it in, $10, and the old game will get you the game for the new system, which I think is good.
Yeah.
You know, who knows if it'll work on other games, like if Grand Theft Auto decides they're going to make one for the new system, and it would update it. I'm assuming they'll come out with a new version, and you'll end up buying both.
Maybe eventually, but they've invested so much time into cranking so much out of
That's why it'll be really good for the new one. And really, what you'll do is it'll allow you to replay the game and get double the achievement points, because each system, like Xbox One and Xbox 360, have different achievement lists. They're the same exact achievements, I think, but they'll actually log in both your accounts. So that'll be cool.
Not a whore for achievement points.
Neither am I, but
Yeah.
I want to keep mine going. I've been playing it for so long. I have my system for now almost 10 years for Xbox Live.
Yeah. And when I get a game, I'll look at the achievement list, and then I'll think, wow, that's something crazy I'm never going to care to do. But other games, it seems like they might be pretty easy, and I'm like,
Well, what's your best
complete
achievement?
the game.
What do you think is your best achievement on any game that you have? What is your most favorite one?
I would have to save that for the next episode of the podcast, because I really can't think of one that stands out to me that's like...
I can. My killing all the goddamn zombies in Dead Rising 1.
Oh, the
I
like
got that
63,000 or
goddamn
whatever?
and ran
Actually, yeah.
car over car over car.
I did
favorite
get that
achievement.
one, but... I don't
See,
know.
for me, it comes back to Hexic. Because
Yeah. Didn't you get all of them?
I filled every achievement, yes, and then proceeded to rank myself like top 300 in the world on a timed mode, so
Nice.
it was labor of love, but...
Yeah. And that game was fun. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Free
anyway,
game
it's
that
just
came with it.
countless hours, though, until, my playing was just like second nature. It was like, yeah, I can run a game in, 5 black pearls, no problem. 6th, maybe not.
Nah, I never got that deep.
Yeah, I never got that achievement either. I gave up on that game. I only played it because it was free with the system, and then I downloaded the second one, and yeah, it's not as good.
Yeah, what else do we got for news? I think that's pretty much it, aside from, of course, the looming giant of GTA 5. September 17th, which is... Yeah, what is today?
Today's the 4th. Ass. It's my
Yeah.
birthday.
I don't remember your birthday by a date. I just remember when you say, hey, it's my birthday.
Well, we have, what else is news today for Xbox? The free game is Magic the Gathering 2, I think.
Oh, I think, yeah, the 2013 edition.
Yeah,
Nice.
or 2012. 2013 you gotta pay for it.
Oh.
2012 edition's free.
Yeah. Right now, if you've got PlayStation Plus, a game I highly recommend that's going to come out this month for free, Ico. Also featured in my honorable mentions when we get to our top 10 list.
Oh, I didn't even.
Amazing game.
I don't know if they were going through it still, but Rockstar, before the release of the new Grand Theft Auto, was doing a sale on Xbox where they were selling everything cheap. I think Bully, the Scholarship Edition, was $3.75 or something like that. If you've never played it, pick it up. It is one of the greatest Rockstar games out there.
Borrowed the copy from you, and it would never. I always had loading issues.
I played the whole
3
thing.
quarters of the way in.
That was a game, actually, where I looked at all the achievements and I wanted to get them all because I loved playing that game so much. I think the story, the setting is great. Everything about it. Just,
Might have to look at that
you
one
know,
again.
oh, it's such a great game. And especially if you can download it now, then you don't have to worry about the disc
Yeah.
issues. I don't even know, do one of you
I
guys
got
still
100%
have my
on it.
disc?
No, I gave it back to you. After
I
got
might
it.
still have
I had
your
100%
disc.
of that game. That game was fucking sweet.
So, I don't know.
I might still have your disc, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to play it anytime soon, but damn, they should re-release that or make a Bully 2. If you're listening, because I'm sure Rockstar Games, top priority is watching some kind
Yeah.
of
What
podcast.
about our
They should-
136 views?
They should be
Yeah.
following us on Twitter as well, because that's where most of our stuff goes. Talking about them too with their, which has happened with them with the PlayStation early
right.
release and how they
Well, it's not
People-
early release.
early download, so you would have it ready.
They didn't
so
want
you
to
could download it.
They didn't want to blow out the servers on release day, so for Europe they were sending the file out to people's PlayStation 3s ahead of time.
Really?
Where you
So
can, yeah, you can only get like the last.
Of
10
course, somebody
gigabytes
got
of it.
wise, hacked into it, gutted it for the soundtrack. Released some of the story details.
Yeah. Well, they had the whole written story, so it was the data file of the whole text and everything. So you had the whole story. So all like the story is leaked out there now. Spoilers. If you don't want to look at it, don't look at it because I didn't.
No spoilers here because none of us looked at it.
Nope,
Yeah, I
ain't
didn't
gonna
want to.
happen.
I seen where it was, and I clicked on it by mistake, and I was like, "Oh shit, get out of there!" Click, click, click.
I don't want to ruin it at all.
I don't. I watched the videos, like the new trailer and stuff. I'm totally hyped on wanting to play online on that. Because we used to play online all the time for Grand Theft Auto 4.
Oh yeah.
And just the games we make up, like skeet shooting and shit like that, man, it was so much fun.
One of my favorite moments was still playing with Kurt. The first time we had a big group of people. And I just remember like ripping by him, trying to shoot him, and he hit me in the chest with a grenade. Like knocked me off the motorcycle. I fell back and it was like bounce, bounce, dead. And all I hear is just like Kurt's maniacal laugh coming through my headset. And then somebody hit him with a car shortly thereafter.
Right.
So
Not GTA 4, of course, but I remember when you were up in Stevens Point at school.
oh,
We were playing
GTA 3.
GTA 3.
Is this the pass out?
Yeah, me and you and Ben, we had been partying all day. And then
Here you go. You can actually
we
do.
stole the tank eventually after,
After-
what, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was a long series of efforts.
Taking out the entire military.
Well, there was no hack. It was a legitimate tank steal. So
Yeah.
I mean, and us being hyper focused nerds as we were, decided to go to town.
And then, passed out and
Right, yeah.
drove the tank off the bridge into
was
the river.
it Ben driving?
I think Ben was driving.
Yeah.
Who cares? It was awesome. What do you got?
They're talking about right here the Xbox One trade-up offer you can do at Best Buy. So you
Yeah.
can buy a game
We
at
can
Best
do
Buy.
that. I think all sorts of retail outlets are going to do it.
They
It's
released
just a matter
theirs
of which
totally.
game.
So it is if the customer purchases an Xbox 360 game by a specific date, they'll receive $10 coupon for the Xbox One version before December 31st if they decide to upgrade. They'll be able to bring in the current gen version of the game, and the receipt will receive a Best Buy card worth at least $40. The gift card and the coupon can be combined on the Xbox One version for the game as low as $10. So there you go. That's pretty good. That's exactly what it says.
Nice.
And it'll be eligible for games including Call of Duty Ghost, FIFA, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Watch Dogs. There you go. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All
well,
the
I
big
mean,
name titles.
it's going to be all the games that are coming out for both generations.
What do you guys
Except for it
looking
doesn't
forward
say
to
Madden.
for the
So there you go.
releases?
For me,
Sony's also doing a similar, it says.
obviously, GTA 5, and I'm really curious about Watch Dogs.
I'm curious about Watch Dogs.
And I'm kind of intrigued about Assassin's Creed 4. I think the pirate direction is a little interesting. The naval stuff in Assassin's Creed 3, I thought was pretty cool. Graphically, it was amazing. And I could have actually done with a little bit more of the seafaring missions. I liked how they tied some of it into, you're going to sail over here and then delve into this abandoned whatever. And I don't know how they'll do it with a series of islands. It'll probably be a pretty similar mold to the other games. But I will say I'll probably pick it up for the Wii U. Because I want to utilize my sad Wii U that's sitting there. Third parties, god damn it. Pick it up, do something with it. There's a lot of potential there. I'm going to keep saying it.
So I'm really ready for Titanfall. The stuff that they showed at PAX, the stuff that they showed at Gamescom, just looks amazing. The ability to run parkour off the side of a building, jump down, grab onto someone else's Titan, shoot it in the back of the head, which is where the memory is, pull the guy out and kill him. Or they show the guy walking with his Titan, he's inside it, and he just reaches in, grabs the other guy, just shakes him around and throws him, like the guy's dead.
Is that
that's
Xbox exclusive?
It's Xbox and then PC. And it was released this week that that there was a picture release where the guys that were making it, because they're former developers for Infinity Ward, now they're a different company, and they were playing with a PS2 controller or something like that, or a PS3 controller, and they were like, oh, everyone's like, oh, it's coming out for the PS3, you guys are all losers, Titanfall's not, and then they released a big statement that says, no, whoever said that is an idiot, blah, blah, blah.
Well, the thing, any development kit, they can just use any controller, without,
Yeah,
who
but
cares?
they were just playing with an old controller because they were doing something, and it wasn't a picture, it wasn't a video of them going, hey, we're making this, so I can't remember what the exact words were they said, but they weren't working on anything for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But the game looks so fucking amazing. It basically looks like Call of Duty game mixed with Mirror's Edge, parkour and then giant robots.
Yeah.
So it's
for me, GTA 4 definitely.
5?
GTA 5.
It's you've been waiting a really long time for that.
No, GTA 5.
he's like Roman.
The South Park game has me very, very intrigued. It's one of those. I'm gonna buy it release, but it might sit on my shelf for 3 months because GTA is gonna be fresh.
I don't even care how good that game is. I think the concept is great and it looks great. And I was thinking the other day, because typically role playing games will have some weird mini game in there.
Yeah.
What they need to do in this game is they need to have the mini game needs to be Chin Pokemon, so you can collect your Chin Pokemon cards. And then you could play Shoe and stuff like that.
I think it would be better if they had multiple mini games, because then you could have Let's Fighting Love mini game, and then it'd be Bullrog Cartman versus Kenny, and then you could throw a Ninja Star.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome too. For the new gen that's coming out, definitely looking forward to Dead Rising 3. I think
I'm really looking
bringing Frank back is going to be a very cool thing. Bringing the original character back.
They're bringing Frank back.
Yes, they are. May not be
main character is somebody different. Yeah, they showed him in a bunch of previews.
They were bringing him back.
Have you seen any previews?
I have not.
He's like a grease monkey type kid than the new kid.
Oh, shit,
yeah.
Man.
The last video was he's driving down the road in his car, and all he's got is a wrench or something in his hand, and the zombies fall off an overpass on top of the car and total the car. So some girl, he's beating his way out of the car, and some girl comes up on a motorcycle or whatever and just totals everybody with a machine gun.
Really?
And he's like, who are you? He's like, I'm your new best friend, girl with a gun. So they run away because she runs out of ammo, and he tapes together this new weapon with a sledgehammer and a saw, and just throws it and hits this giant zombie in the chest, and the zombie gets back up, so he doesn't die. But they go inside the shed, and she's like, I'm out of ammo, we have no weapons. He's looks around and goes, everything here's a weapon. So he makes a motorcycle, and this motorcycle has a big dang steamroller front on it, so he just blares out of there and steamrolls a bunch of it. It looks so damn good. It looks serious, and there's a lot more zombies. It looks a little bit better, graphic wise, but the same silliness is there for the game which made the game.
That's what made 2 so much fun was the online play for 2 was so ridiculous and so over the top.
Yeah.
That it became addictive. It was one of those you'd sit down to play 1 or 2 rounds and turn around, and it's 3.5 hours later. And you're fuck, I need to go to bed.
There's a new game coming out, and I'm not sure if it's just PS4 or not, because they were talking about it at PAX. And it basically is a mix between Mirror's Edge and Dead Island, because it's released by the people of Dead Island. And what the game is zombies during the day. It's the game changes from day to night, where the zombies don't care about you really during the day. As soon as it turns night, they freak out. and you got to run out, do like your parkour things, run, jump over fences, and set up traps and make it back to the hideout and stuff. Looks so good.
Heard of that. I can't remember the name of it, but
Yeah,
I did
like
see something
Day
about
something.
that. Yeah, I don't remember, but it does look pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know. I'm
you probably won't be able to play it because if it's got the same Mirror's Edge engine where you get sick.
Well, if it's a first person,
it is for person where you're running through. Like they show him slide down like a metal shanty building because you're stuck in like this quarantine off town. They show him slide down and he runs and like parkours left to right over like a fence. And then they show him like pull down the fence and set up like a electrical thing on it so you can have like the zombies walk across, they'll get electrocuted.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, it changes from day to night. If you're playing it at night, there's like said there was like a little screen on the bottom where it showed you how interested the zombies were at you at night, and like which ones were paying attention to you, and they're coming right after you. That looks so good.
See, something that would be cool for the Wii U, because then you can have your separate screen right there.
You could.
I'm trying to not look at a lot of the next gen stuff because I know it's a ways off for me.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to buy a car, so shit. Probably going to be playing back catalog.
I gotta buy kitchen utensils, so
yeah.
I want to hear about it.
I gotta buy a lot of stuff too, but you know.
What are you playing
Trying to
currently?
save money.
What am I playing currently? I haven't had a chance to play anything, really. Picked up Zombie U again.
Yeah.
Now I just seem like I'm just talking about Nintendo. Zombie U, which I got for Christmas, haven't got around to playing it, and it can be pretty tough. I mean, you kind of have your one life bar, and it's, a couple of good hits landed on you from a zombie, and you're done.
Bad.
And it's like Demon Souls or Dark Souls on PlayStation, where it's like, you're gonna die.
Okay.
You are going to die a lot. And, people can leave messages. That's kind of how the Nintendo Network thing works on there. So you can see it, you can take the gamepad and kind of scan the area.
Okay.
So even though you're walking in the room, it's first person, then you take your gamepad and you can scan the room in real time.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And it'll show like flag items or messages from other players.
Okay.
After that, well, I mean, by the time I'm done with that, GTA is going to be out. But
Yeah.
I just picked up BioShock Infinite, pretty cheap.
I already beat
I
that.
still need to play that.
That's the whole game. No spoilers.
I finished about 80% and just lost interest in it. I guess I'll have to come back to and probably try to play through again.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go for anything until the PS or the Xbox One comes out. I mean, now I'm going to play Grand Theft Auto, but that's probably about it. I'm just waiting for that new system. I don't want to.
right now.
Every time I want to play something, I end up just playing goddamn Call of Duty because it's just easy and fast. I can kill people for like an hour and then get away.
Yeah, I just restarted Grand Theft Auto 4. So I was like,
thinking
about 2 weeks. I'm like, I can play through probably 90% of the story mode.
If you don't do any of the screwing around with the friends and the girlfriends, you can probably burn through the story mode
I'm
pretty
just
quick.
going, just trying to mainline the story mode, and the occasional random, go off and mass shooting until the police gun you down.
I played through it twice and played a bunch of online stuff. So really, unless I was gonna play online, it really isn't gonna hit me to play.
There's not a ton of people online right now, though.
Just because probably everyone's playing something else.
You're probably correct.
So I think we covered all the news. I think we're on.
Battlefield 4 is coming out, which I don't think you guys are Battlefield players.
No.
I tried. It was another one of those where I kind of got the motion sickness and I couldn't play it.
Mirror's Edge 2, which you ain't gonna be able to play. I don't know how I'm gonna play that because I love Mirror's Edge.
Love Battlefield 3. I like the add-on of the vehicles and a destructible scenario.
See, so that's what's gonna do with Call of Duty.
I played it for a little bit, and I played some multiplayer, and it was fun because the maps were a lot more sprawling. I felt
huge.
like, a lot more tactics involved because I think so many people on Call of Duty, it's just run and gun, and I'm the type of person that
Battlefield requires
I'm all about the accuracy.
teaming up with somebody or small groups and actually working through the areas.
Here's how I play too. Like I'll play Call of Duty, and everyone gets pissed. They're like, "Oh, that dude's just camping." I'm not camping. I'm playing a war game like you'd play war. Like in real life, if I had a gun and I was in a battle, I'm not gonna run across the goddamn field and hopefully not get shot. Going, "Hey, don't shoot me!" I'm gonna fucking sit somewhere and wait for someone else to do that because they're a bunch of idiots. These people who get pissed at you for playing your way. You play your way, I'll play mine, and that's just the way it is. But the new Call of Duty Ghost has destructible backgrounds, and it actually alters the playing field. They showed one where they knocked down a dam, and it floods the area, so you can't actually get through that area anymore. So you can't come that way. So you're stuck coming only one side of the map.
Cool.
That was pretty cool.
Well, there was that one map on Black Ops 2, right, where there was kind of like a waterway that would go every so often.
That's on Black Ops 2, yeah.
There was, just sort of water would rush out every so often, and if you went in there, it would kind of rush you off and you would die. Yeah, it would kind of warn you. but it would kind of create that barrier temporarily.
Yeah.
So you would kind of exchange fire over the.
That's kind of what they did.
chasm.
Was that Black Ops 1 with the Berlin one, where you couldn't walk through the center of the map. You'd have to go across that one path they have, because if you go across the center, the turrets will shoot you down. The Berlin Wall map.
Was that
Download.
DLC?
Yeah, it was DLC.
Yeah, I didn't
That was a
buy
great.
it.
That was a great map though.
I was, I don't want to pay them extra money to be frustrated at assholes online. I'll pay the regular $60.
I'm really not frustrated because I usually end up positive most games, so I'm not ever frustrated.
You got your top 10 list, sir, Matt?
Do we want to go into the top 10 list?
Sure, we can do that.
So, shifting gears away from news completely, just to give you guys more insight as to kind of who we are, what kind of games we like. We figured we're going to do our top 10 favorite games, and it was pretty hard for us all to come up with just 10. So I had my top 10, and then I had my honorable mentions, which grew to a list of 7. So I've got 17 games that I think are just amazing. And I guess I'll start. Dan's getting a beer. What do we got?
I'm drinking Samuel Adams Oktoberfest.
All
I will
right.
take another lucky beer.
Yeah,
You have
Oktoberfest.
one
It's,
left.
Unless, Matt, you
good
want
that we
the
have.
last
No, I
lucky
don't
beer?
care. I love Oktoberfest season.
Oh, so do I. It's my
And,
favorite beer.
Pretty much every brewery imaginable.
Yeah, we were drinking that this weekend.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm doing something wrong drinking out of Buddha.
We were drinking that big growler of Oktoberfest. Oh, so good. And then we had
Delaney's
Lime
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
And then, how
Funny
about the
s-
Liney's Variety Pack? We sat out on the canoe
Yeah.
and
Funny story, we drank a shitload of beer, and I didn't get a buzz
No.
all freaking day.
at all. I think we
Yeah.
started drinking at 10 o'clock. No, not
No, it was like 9 something. We pushed the
8:30?
canoe out. Yeah, we pushed the canoe out. We were drinking on the canoe.
Did you have a better vehicle for transporting a canoe than you and I did?
Yeah,
on
well,
the
we didn't
last
have to.
canoeing trip?
the vehicle was
Right down
the
the
hill.
Yeah, right on. We didn't have to put it in the back of a PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the car.
So, top 10 games of all
We
time.
did get down there.
My top 10 favorites. I didn't number them because I don't know if I could, actually.
Yeah, I kind of numbered in mine because even though I'm not happy with it 100%, I numbered them as best I could.
I couldn't number these at all. I just kind of put them in order of what time frame they came out in, roughly. I kind of start with the Super Nintendo era. I got Chrono Trigger, my absolute #1 role-playing game ever. No questions asked. So many endings. I think it was the pinnacle of Square Enix. Toriyama did all the artwork. He's done Dragon Ball. I'm sure half of the 10 people watching this have watched Dragon Ball, or at least know what it is. Akira Toriyama did all the artwork for Chrono Trigger. I just loved it. Another Square game, of course, Final Fantasy 3. It was 3 here in the U.S., 6 internationally, and now they try to commonly, they wanted to put them all in number order worldwide, so they refer to it as 6 all the time. Stop me, of course, if any of these are on your list, and we can go all over that. Probably the one that I don't think either you guys are going to have on your list. Super Nintendo game called Uncharted Waters New Horizons. It was by...
Is that the game you're looking for forever? Every time you go to some thrift store, you're like, hey, has they got this game? We'll check it out.
No, only because I don't have a Super Nintendo anymore. But I probably would.
Wasn't that the one with the huge title across the front of it that filled the whole cartridge? You always tell me to look for one that fills the whole cartridge. The title goes across.
I don't even know. But, so, Uncharted Waters, it was a sequel. The first one was Uncharted Waters. More of a strategy game. New Horizons had 6 characters. And they each kind of had a different slant. There were a couple of pirate characters, and their goal was to be the best pirate. My favorite character was the Swedish guy or the Norwegian guy. I don't know, some nationality guy, because the game starts out in kind of Europe somewhere, who wants to create a map of the entire world. So you end up, and I usually start out doing a little trade route between I want to say it was Lisbon and Turkey. Trading back and forth, building up money, then I get a ship, then I get a crew, then I start exploring. Go south, go around Africa, Cape Town, come up, head back, and then it's okay, maybe now I can do Australia, and over time, the farthest I ever got, I did all of Africa, Australia, all around Asia, sailed across to the New World, and I think I died up the Mississippi River. So I bought it. It was a download on the Wii, on the Virtual Console. Haven't gotten back into it yet, but damn it, I want to map the entire world. So that's my third one. Continuing with Super Nintendo, Super Metroid. Oh man, did anyone have Super Metroid?
I did not have Metroid on
Oh,
there at all.
Jesus.
Any Metroid.
Super Metroid. One of my honorable mentions, actually, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Amazing game that pretty much copied everything that was great about Super Metroid and turned it into Castlevania. Which, oh my god. Another Super Nintendo game, Tetris Attack. Of course, we know Tetris is the granddaddy of all puzzle games.
Yes,
Tetris Attack.
we wasted multiple hours playing
Oh my
Tetris
god,
Attack.
I maxed out the score on that game. My score was just 9999999.
Nice.
I played that game so much. Challenge me. It'll be great. Then moving on, N64, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Did anyone have that on their list?
I do have that on my list.
Oh man. And I wanted to put Mario 64 in my top 10, but it's an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But Zelda Ocarina of Time, I've been playing Zelda games since they came out, picking out that gold cartridge to rent at Pick and Save.
Yeah, really picking out like one or two Zeldas to put on your list was really hard. I thought that one was probably one of the
Did you
better
pick
ones.
two?
No, I was going to pick regular Zelda because it was basically the beginning of it all, but I was like,
Yeah.
man, Ocarina of Time was so much better than just regular Zelda.
Well, and that's, when I was making my list, I was thinking, okay, obviously there's games that were very, they were big kind of game changers for the industry as a whole and how people viewed video games, but I wanted to go more so games that, something, any of these I could pick up and play through completely at any time and completely love it. They're important to me. Some of them are very important to the industry, very key to the industry, but Zelda Ocarina of Time. And then, I think we discussed this in episode 0, Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
That game changed my attitude on what video games can be. You never played Resident Evil 1.
I thought Resident Evil
played
1
any
was really good.
You're not going to be in episode 2. You probably will be. But by the time we do the next episode, play Resident Evil 1. Damn it.
See, here's where you differ. Like, I love Resident Evil games, and I like Resident Evil 1, but Resident Evil 4 was probably one of my favorites, and it was like, I played on the GameCube, and then I bought it on the Wii, and like still traded it in, but just playing it both times made it be like, and it was just, I always like playing as Leon the most because he has more of the horror genre story. Like, you play as Chris and stuff like that, and everybody else, they're just, not as scary. There's not those like moments where like, oh, I could go in this corner and be like, bam, something jumps out, and like, it makes you jump. There's not a lot, like even playing the last one, there was like one jump moment in the whole game. And
Resident Evil 6 sucked.
It was decent. Resident Evil 5 sucked
Resident
compared
Evil
to 6.
Resident Evil 6 was a game.
Of course it was a game.
It was a video game.
5 was worse than 6, though.
No. I thought 5 was better than 6, but barely. I think they took 4 and it was so popular, so they tried to just go way off on this tangent. And, really?
4 was good, though.
I don't know. But yeah, 4 was very good. But Resident Evil 1 for me was the, spoilers. Actually, I won't spoil anything because Shawn hasn't played it. Next, GTA Vice City. Did anyone have that on their list?
Vice City on mine.
I didn't put Vice City on mine, but I think it'll be an honorable mention.
Did you put any GTA,
Any
on
GTA
your
on
list?
Yes, I have San Andreas because, as you know, I spent
Hundreds of hours.
San Andreas wasn't as good as Vice City, though, so that's why Vice City's on mine.
Well, and at first I wanted to put GTA 3, but then I was like, you know what? I remember when they started talking about Vice City and the soundtracks, the settings, like the 80s, and it was down in Florida, and it was like the perfect storm at the perfect time.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The first time where you were able to do something crazy like hijack the tank, and then the helicopter, wasn't it?
Well, you could do the tank in the third one, but I think it was great that you could go and like beat the shit out of people with a golf club. You could go hit a couple of balls at the driving range and then
Murder everybody there.
Yeah, murder the entire golf club, get all your money back and all their money. GTA Vice City. Oh man.
Yeah, Vice City's high on my list.
Then what do we got? BioShock. Anyone else have BioShock?
I have BioShock on my honorable mentions.
I remember when the demo came out, and so I had Xbox 360. The demo came out, and I fell in love with the game. I think just the art style, the music, just the tone of the game itself was enough. You know me, I'm big on setting, art style, and audio in games. So that really, another one of those sort of perfect storm things. which leads me to my 10th game on the list, Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 is
Anyone
on my
Fallout
list.
3?
Fallout 3 is on my
Fallout 3
list too.
Oh man,
Oh.
I remember again playing the demo of that,
Mm-hmm.
and just thinking, wow, I need to buy this game immediately. And it was when I was finishing up school, and Jason, who's gonna show up in some other podcasts eventually, he said, "Man, you gotta start playing this game." I was like, "I've got finals in 2 weeks. I cannot start playing this game." He's like, "You gotta start playing it. You gotta start playing it." It was like my last year of school? I don't even remember. But finally I broke down, and like a week before finals, I was like, I'm playing this fucking game.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. Every minute of it was awesome. I bought all the downloadable content. I put so many hours into that game.
I did some stupid stuff with the downloadable content, I could tell you this. So, like, the first one was Jonathan at work told me about the game, so, like, I ended up having to buy it and play it. I played through probably half of the goddamn game, not realizing you can update your stats by, like, putting points on shit. So I did the same thing, goddamn, with Mass Effect. I played through half the game without updating my character, and he's like, that must have made the game super hard, so I was playing the harder difficulties. I'm like, yeah, I was wondering why it kept getting harder, I wasn't getting better at this game. Then all of a sudden I just flew through it. But
so
then,
you like pretty much ignored the whole level up thing in the corner, and you're like, oh, I leveled up, great, I got more HP.
I never even thought about it. And then, like, when I did, which one was it, the Sons of Liberty one or whatever it was, the update?
Yeah.
I did not even remember, because, you know, like, it was been a while since I played it. I forgot all about the VAT system, so I didn't use the fucking VAT system through the whole goddamn game. And I'm sitting there going, why is it so hard to fucking kill these guys? Because I'm not slowing the camera down to shoot like 1, 2, 3 guys.
Yeah.
It's like I was doing it all manually, and I fucking beat everything. So it shows how fun that game was. I didn't even care that it got so hard.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, some days you'd be like, all right, I'm going to go in with precision and do all this, or you're going to take out like a camp. So you really want to do that, but other times you're wandering around the wasteland and you're just like free gunning it. I thought the game was great.
It took me forever to find the little hidden valley where like there was the trees.
Yeah.
I could not find that for the life of me. It took me like
AKA
I walked around for like
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I could not. I walked around for days trying to find this goddamn cavern, and I even looked it up, and I still couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to find.
And then I just stumbled upon it.
And in my playthrough of the game, I didn't even find it. I never even knew it existed until Jason told me about it. He was like, "Oh, you didn't find that place?" And I had to look in the guide to figure out where it was, because it was like, you know, you look at the map and you're like, oh, I can just go this way, but no, it's like you gotta go through this ravine, and it's big.
And the worst thing I did, you know, like how you can always have your companion follow you and stuff like that, and you start off with like you can find the dog first if you go that way. I found the dog. He died like 5 minutes after I had him. So like then again, I ran through the whole game by myself until I got the big ogre that helped me out, or orc or whatever it is, and then him I had through the rest of the game. Like I couldn't get rid of him, but goddamn, I killed that dog in like 5 seconds. I'm like, I'm not going back, not starting over. I'm just pushing.
Well, you can have the dog and a person, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. The dog was never around for me because he died. Like I got him right by the junkyard. I went back into the junkyard because there was something in there, and like there was like a bunch of guys and I just killed them like instantly.
My honorable mentions, I'll go through pretty quick. We already talked about Ico. Download it this month for free on PlayStation Plus. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the Juiced Up Super Metroid. You guys play that game? Castlevania Symphony of the Night?
I wasn't that big a Castlevania fan.
Oh my
Not
God.
since like the original Nintendo.
And you got the whole castle, and then you beat the game, and then they do the reverse castle, and everything's upside down. It's a whole different thing. That game was great. We got Ico, Castlevania, Mario 64. I had to put on there. I told Mom that I needed to stay home from school to play Mario 64.
She went for it.
Oh, yeah.
I originally had Mario's on my list.
She just said, do you have a
it's
test today? No. Fine. Just call me into school. So any of those days that I wasn't in school and you know my ass wasn't sick, I was playing Mario 64.
What happened to you? My mom showed me the belt.
I originally had Mario on my list. I'm thinking, God, Mario's such an easy answer for a top 10 game. I'm just not going to put it on there because everybody loved Mario. Even from like Mario 3, Mario 2, Mario 1. I just couldn't
And
put it on.
it really was a toss-up for me because I was thinking about maybe putting Super Mario World.
And even like Mario Kart, I was thinking, like, Mario Kart was so good for the 64.
Mario 64, Earthbound on Super Nintendo. My God, I love that game. I had the original Super Nintendo cartridge. It came with a strategy guide and the scratch and sniff cards. And before they released it on the Virtual Console for the Wii U, just I think like a month ago, original carts were on eBay for like $700. Because people got so fanatical about it. I love that game. Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, I did not put that
On my list. On my list.
Oh my
I didn't
god.
think of that
Number
game.
3.
Such an amazing game. Again, Rockstar. I don't think they can really mess up.
No, the downloadable.
Wait, did you play State of Emergency?
I didn't.
They messed up. But table tennis was fun.
The Red Dead Undead, I mean, took the game to a whole nother level.
I didn't even
also.
play it.
I did not.
Oh,
I
it
did not
is-
even touch it.
It is
That was on sale too. Super cheap
absolutely
with that Rockstar
fantastic.
sale.
If you ever are going to revisit a game for downloadable content, Red Dead Undead.
Yeah. Except for I think I had perfect at that game, and Red Dead Undead killed my perfect on that game. When they do download stuff that adds to the story and like extra stuff, it cuts out your perfect game. Like once you update it, so
Only
I had
if you go
updated
back and play it again.
Well, I had
and then
played
it'll
it
patch it.
I had played it online like right when it did it, and it updated, so now it's not on my list no more.
But yeah, such a great game. The story, I think, was great. And the way that they crafted everything and the ending was just...
Yeah.
I think that was the first game where I literally teared up at the end of the game.
Yeah, I didn't interrupt, but it was a good ending.
Skyrim.
You know,
and
I play Skyrim.
I put Fallout 3 on the list, and I was like, should I put Skyrim? But I sunk like 200 hours into Skyrim.
That's why I put
It's a
Oblivion
revisit
on mine.
for me.
Elder Scrolls, I put Oblivion on my list for that reason, because I put so much into it, and I barely played the story mode. It was all freaking, like, the guilds and all that other shit.
Yeah. I mean, Skyrim, I did damn near everything in the game. I got like 100 and some hours in. I had vampirism for, oh God, like 10 hours of game time. Maybe even 20 hours. I couldn't even go outside. Like,
In real life,
if
you
I
just
was
stuck at home.
I couldn't even go outside in real life because I had to cure my vampirism in the game. Because if I went outside, my life bar just went like this. So I burned through so many potions and shit. And fast travel. Oh, it was terrible. Last game on my honorable mentions. This is the one racing game I mentioned. Wipeout XL, PlayStation.
Yeah, you were a freak for that game.
Oh
I
my
liked
God.
it when I got it for free.
We could burn. We played it so much back in high school. We could burn through the corners flawlessly. You could get drifting down.
You could burn through the corners flawlessly.
We as in me and Storm.
Yes.
We played the shit out of that game. So that rounds out my top 10.
Alright, so basically some of the ones you got on yours are on mine. I'm just going to go through the ones that aren't, and a couple of my honorable mentions that you did not mention. So we'll say at the bottom, I got Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. Because, you know, it was a fun game and we all got it, so it was like one of the first games that we all decided to really sit down and play for a while together. We had Danny and shit like that, so that was fun. Then I got Dead Rising like you had.
I didn't have.
Oh, you didn't have Dead Rising?
No.
Okay. So I got Dead Rising on mine for 360 because it was such a great game to sit down and just play for hours and end it like, beat the game like 10, 15 times, but each time was a different fucking ending.
That was actually the game that kind of sold me on getting an Xbox 360 is when we came over and you had Dead Rising.
It was also the game that killed my Xbox, Red Ringed it, but it's still
Mine
worth
too?
it. Totally worth it.
That would be 3.
Alright, one you didn't have on yours because you still haven't played them, and it is a great series, but I picked the second one because it was probably the best one. Number one was really good, but it had a lot of talking in it. Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 was an amazing game. The flying through the RPGs, and I'm not a huge RPG fan to sit around and talk to everybody, but I love this series. And even with my Mass Effect 3 in the end, where people were pissed, I didn't care. I thought it was a great ending, great series. The space flight, everything about it was just so enormous. And I can't wait for them to make another one.
I remember you lent the first one to me.
Mhm.
You were like, you gotta play it, it's so great. Because you're so in love with the series. And I could not get into it. Maybe it was the point in time that I got it.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of people said that about the first one, so a lot of people just skipped the first one. That's why now they released the setup where you can play through the first game by having it all just cutscenes, and you pick what you want to happen in them, so it renders everything like a full game, so that way you can port that out to Mass Effect 2, which is a great
So it cuts
idea.
out all the gameplay and
Just so
your,
you watch
your
it
key
for,
choices.
Yeah, so you watch it for like 30 minutes, you play this guy, streamline it, and then you can port it out for number 2, because 2 is where everyone fell in love with it. Like, I liked number 1, but number 2 actually amped up everything. Everything that was bad about number 1, they took out and, fixed for number 2, which made it really better.
Yeah.
Then I got one for Sega CD, Rise of the Dragon. Now, this is like an RPG old school, where basically it was like flat images repeatedly, but it was such good graphics and everything, and then you had to like talk to people and do these stories. And it was all about you like an undercover detective, and you had to go through and figure out what was going on storyline, who killed who, gang wars, this and that, and it was just a good Asian game, and it was for Sega CD. Like, I do want to get the ROM for my phone because it's just awesome. Then I got, which I'm surprised you didn't have, GoldenEye from Nintendo 64.
I have GoldenEye.
You know,
How did you have GoldenEye?
It consumed our childhood.
It didn't even occur to me to put it in there because of all the other games I had. But looking back, yeah, since we all, growing up, lived right next to each other and played the shit out of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of weird that I didn't have it, but I guess it was eclipsed by all the other games here.
Yeah. Then I have, like, you had Fallout 3, Vice City. Brings me to number 2, which I have Halo 2. I mean, I guess this is more a favorite of mine because at the time I had gotten this game, I was injured. I couldn't work for 6 months. Couldn't really leave the house. I think I left the house a handful of times because I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. So to sit down, and Shawn was living here at the time, have him come home, and like he bought Xbox Live just to play this game, and we played the shit out of it. I mean, like, it was amazing. Just sit and kill people and like make fun of people online, and you really didn't have that on any console game before this. I mean, you could play football games across regular Xbox, but it wasn't until this game that came out, which had like the same feel as like a PC game, because I wasn't a huge PC gamer.
Yeah.
To be able to yell at people for that, that was great. And then like my number 1 was Zelda Ocarina of Time, because I wanted to have the Zelda in there because I loved all the Zelda games, but this one's probably far by the best one ever. Then my honorable mentions, which will be easy, quick. BioShock you had, Oblivion, which is like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Then I got ones from the old school days, Contra.
Nice.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
Nice.
Which I have both Mike Tyson and the Punch-Out games, separate games, where you play Mr. Dream as the end.
After Mike Tyson went through all his
the first
legal
series.
struggle.
The first series where he was beating up Robin Givens.
The first game? Is that the character you get to play, Robin Givens? I wonder if there's a hack for that.
Dude,
mod?
There's a mod for my other one. You could play as the princess in Donkey Kong. That's awesome. Because like the girls really didn't have nothing to do. They got the Mario, now they can rescue Mario. I also have BioShock on mine, which you had. Madden, because I was always a huge football fan, so to sit and play Madden. And it kind of sucks because I also liked the game days and stuff like that better, and 2K games, but then Madden bought them out for NFL, so now everything's Madden. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's only
stuck.
one sort of NFL franchise.
Yeah. I said the last season when they had another game was when they had like a 2K game or whatever it was, but they had made their game for like super cheap. It was like $20, $19.99. They just dominated that year because everyone bought that game because nobody wanted to spend the money on Madden, and it was so much of a better game than Madden. Then Madden took over, so. Then I got Half-Life 2, amazing series. I love everything that came out of it. And I put Half-Life 2 on there as one of my honorable mentions because it brings you to Portal, which is my other honorable mention game because it's an amazing game.
Which you may remember if you saw the photos of our loot crate. They had all that Portal Aperture Science stuff in there.
Yeah, and I love both Portal games and all the Aperture Science stuff and the cake stuff. It's just funny.
Was that it?
That was it. All my honorable mentions and my games. Well, because you had a lot of my games that we talked about them. So.
Alright, my top 10, again, like we discussed earlier, Hexic was free for Xbox 360. I got all consumed by it, and it was my first ever 100% achievement completion. Game was absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Super Mario Brothers 2 was not even technically a Mario game. It just had a fucking Mario...
I think we kind of touched on that in our first podcast.
It had a Mario facelift, but I loved that game. I don't know if it was because the enemy at the end was a giant toad, which played right into me.
Yeah.
Or what, but I used to come home from school and play that game through before dinner was ready. It would be like 3 hours of me just sitting there, like, going to town on a controller, and I absolutely loved it. And my games are kind of rated by how much time I spent playing them. When we get to the honorable mentions, spent some time, and I know you guys did on some of the games also. Number 8, GTA 3 San Andreas.
Oh, you're going kind of in reverse order.
Yeah, I'm going from 10 up to number 1. GTA San Andreas 3. And Matt, as you know, you played with me. I ate San Andreas 3.
GTA San Andreas.
GTA 3 San Andreas. I spent so much time playing blackjack in that game that I learned the sequence of 148 cards that came out, where I basically ran my money up to an insurmountable amount that I could never spend. Just so I could
Because you had all the tattoos in the game.
Yes, pretty much. So I could just go through and play the game through huge. Number 7, Bulletstorm. One of the best first-person shooter games. the dialogue is so over the top and just insane. It's hilarious, and there's a ton of combo moves that you can do with the different weapons. If you haven't played it, you get a chance. It's
I think
a
I
lot of
saw
fun.
like it was on sale or something for like $15, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, should I
Probably
get it?
real cheap on Steam.
It's
I didn't.
so over the top ridiculous that it's worthwhile.
That's not annoying.
Buzz.
Throw it back to the pocket. I'm sorry.
Is that like a basketball buzzer going off here?
Number 6.
Yeah, that was your shot clock, by the way.
Mario Kart for Nintendo 64. I mean, again, as kids, when we all lived near each other, we consumed countless evenings,
Yeah, it's
weekends,
funny that
weeks.
none of us, I mean, you're not done, none of us have Mario Party on there.
Yeah.
No, I thought about
I
it.
thought
I
about that
did
too.
think about it. Because
Oh my god. How many? We played, I think, every Mario Party.
Up until I think like 4 or 5 when it came onto the newer systems.
No,
We
I
played
played
the
the Wii because I
we
have
played
the
the
Wii
GameCube.
version.
We played
Once.
the GameCube one. We
We
played
played the Wii because I have the Wii one.
Yeah, but we didn't
I think
play
I Mario
It wasn't,
Party
an,
8.
it wasn't an all-consuming 3 or 4 nights a week we're all going to get together. Type
No, but
thing.
we were playing it when I got injured because you guys were coming over and playing it. That's when I
Yeah.
bought it, Mario Party Wii.
Number 5 game that you guys probably never played for Sega Genesis, Herzog's Y. It was
No, I never
the
did
game
play
that
it.
got me involved in real-time strategy games.
It's like Herzog Zooey.
Well, it's Herzog's Y, same thing. Did you play it?
Yes, I remember playing
Okay.
Herzog Zooey. I don't know Herzog why.
Very, very good game.
We'll give you some German lessons.
I don't know.
Number 4, Red Dead Redemption and Undead Redemption, as we discussed earlier.
Oh man, yeah.
Dead Rising 3 Dead Rising 2 is my number 3 game. Again, I played so much online, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And I would come home and consume 3 or 4 hours a night. Like,
Yeah, I like Dead Rising 1 better than Dead Rising 2.
I
I didn't like the second
the
character.
story
as much.
I liked in 1 better, but
Yeah.
2, like I said, I'm going by amount of time that I spent playing these games.
Yeah.
Like, I
Which
didn't
is a
want-
pretty good indicator because obviously you're devoting so much time. It
You know,
shows that you really are
Number-
very invested.
number 2.
There was just the stupid thing on the second one where you had to get the stupid, like, antivirus thing and keep injecting your
Oh,
dog and
yeah.
stuff like that. I hated doing that and, like, show back up at a certain amount of time. With Frank, you didn't have to do that.
I can see. Number 2, GTA 4. Like I said, I'm replaying it now, so I think I'm a little more biased on that. And
Yeah.
again, with the amount of time that we put in with the online.
So you have 2 GTA games.
I did
Top
2
10.
Yeah,
GTA
I didn't want to put
games.
two
Wow.
on mine. That's why I put Vice City. It's the best of all of them.
My number 1 was GoldenEye. Like, I looked back and was like,
Yeah, I've had
what
GoldenEye.
game did I spend more time than any other game playing? And it was like, this was like 3 years out of high school of almost every night us getting together.
And at least an hour of slappers only.
Oh, yeah.
Then paintball mode, GoldenEye mode.
Yeah.
My honorable mentions, Dan, from when I lived with you, Halo 2 was definitely, like I said, it got me involved with Xbox. I had been a hardcore PlayStation player and PC player. Up to that point, it was like, hey, I'm living with my friend, can't really move. But I'm going to spend the $50 and get an account so I can play online with him. Matt, I know this one's going
That's
to...
where I met Donut, too.
This one for you, Diablo 2, was, I mean, again, like
And it's I wasn't
thousands
even
of
thinking about
consumed
it.
hours.
And if I was doing mine by time spent, Diablo 2 would have been number 1. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even think of it putting it on this list, which is insane in retrospect. But I guess maybe I wasn't even thinking of
And then
PC games.
If you really thought about time spent, most of my games would be like a Halo or a Call of Duty because I could just sit there and play those like an hour here or there and play them forever and nobody cares.
these two, though, I know all 3 of us spent time on one of them, and I know Dan and I spent an exponential amount of time on the other one. They're both Nintendo games. Dragon Warrior, remember when Nintendo Power came out?
Oh god.
You
Got
got
it
the
for free.
Yep, you got it for
Remember
free
we were
with
talking
Nintendo
Well,
Power.
I didn't get it for free because I didn't have Nintendo
Okay.
Power. I
Yeah, we
didn't
both
have
did.
Dragon Warrior
We both
until
did.
later on. But
But we sat and played the shit out of that game, and you played it from beginning to end, and you tried to do every little... I mean, it was like getting achievements before there was achievements, because there was a little side quest you could go and figure out. And it really opened up the world for role-playing games.
yeah,
And the other one, Dan, I had to put it on there, because I know you and I, when we were anywhere from 6 to 12, spent numerous hours playing Black Bass on NES.
Oh, I love Black Bass. I still have my copy
Black
of Black Bass
Bass
up there.
was, I mean, it was such a different game for the console. I mean, being a fishing game on a fucking Nintendo, so it was like you just sit and rap on the buttons as fast as you can.
yeah.
But for me and Dan, it was like all consuming at times. It was like, all right, I got that 14-pounder. You up somebody by half an ounce and be like, yeah, look at it, you lost. So it was like this all-consuming for years.
Yeah, I always loved fishing games for some reason. On systems. Even like the Sega system, they had all those fishing games that were so much fun.
And the other one I think that none of us touched on that surprised me was Borderlands.
I didn't play Borderlands.
Borderlands was a fun game.
Borderlands was a fun game also. Yeah.
But then again, I played Gears of War, and you guys didn't play that, and I love the shit out of that game.
I played
that
Gears
didn't
of
even
War.
make my list.
I played Gears of War 1, and I couldn't even remember if I
3.
played 2.
I played 1, 2, and 3.
And they were fun, but I don't know.
They were fun. They were fun as hell.
I don't know.
That's all I
Anyway. You good?
Yeah, the only other one that I had that was a cross-off was Tekken. And that was like the whole genre of Tekken games because we spent...
I was going through my list, and I was like, I have no fighting games.
Yeah, I didn't put a fighting game on mine.
If I did have to put a fighting game on there, it probably would have to be Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2...
Do you know they're re-releasing one of the Soul Caliburs?
Yeah, they're going to do it online.
HD or something like that?
Yeah. I think it is 2, actually.
It's the one where they had... Was it the one for 2 was... the one they had...
Where they had Spawn, I think?
Spawn in them, yeah. Cause
Yeah,
you're
Spawn,
gonna
that
get,
was 2.
you're going to get both
also
Spawn and Hayachi, but they're not going to do Zelda.
Link. Yeah,
Right, Link.
because obviously.
Because Nintendo's not getting one apparently or something like
See,
that.
2 I like because Zasunel was one of my favorite all-time characters. The dude with the sickle.
Yeah, was he in 2?
He was in... I believe it was 2, wasn't it? No, it was Spawn.
I know it got really... like
Might have been 3 though, not sure.
I didn't play the last one, but the one before that was fun. It was the first time you got to play it online against other people, like the
4
quarter mode and stuff like that.
4 I've logged like almost 3,000 matches.
Yeah,
on.
I didn't even buy
Yeah.
4
Played a ridiculous
for the
amount.
last one, which whatever.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't remember either was any of the Shadowrun games, the Super Nintendo, the Sega, or even the one for Xbox, which, god damn it, was fun.
I
God,
didn't play the Super Nintendo one a whole lot because that was before I really got into Shadowrun, and I was just looking for
Genesis one.
The
games.
Genesis was the Decker one, right?
And I never
Yeah.
had, we got Genesis kind of late. My brother wanted one, and I didn't really play a lot of Genesis games. I always hear the Genesis version of Shadowrun was superior to the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo version. But then I remember, of course, when we got we all got the one for Xbox, even though it was a first-person shooter. It
It
was
wasn't even a
fun.
first-person shooter, it was a third-person, because you've seen the little...
Oh,
guys
right,
play.
yeah,
Third
you're right.
person shooter, but it would have been better with a story.
Yeah, it would have been better with story mode, but still, we
No,
played
it
that
was a
game.
first-person shooter until you pulled out the sword.
Was it? I remember you could always see the guy in front of you.
I think you might have been able to choose your viewpoint.
I gotta
I don't even
I'll have to
remember.
double check this.
Damn.
It was a great fucking game. And it was one of the first games that was Windows and Xbox, so you could cross platform.
Cross-platform, which they really should do, but it sucks because, of course, everyone wants to get people invested into their system.
Mhm.
But that's annoying.
But it was a fun ass game. I remember people that were still playing it. Remember we turned it back on last year.
Yeah,
like,
and we
should
were
play
terrible,
this. Yeah.
and everyone was
Got our ass
just
kicked.
dominating us.
They never. That's like a game either too. Like you had all this fun with it. They never released any updates. Like no new maps.
Yeah, well, that's because, a month later you find it in the bargain bin for like $5. Which
Still, I still got mine. I don't know why I never
I
traded
think
it
the
in.
lack
So
of the story mode crashed and burned it though.
Yeah, they really, selling a game that's online only, multiplayer only, and they could have done so much because
So
Shadowrun
what do
is
you think
such.
that's going to hurt the new games? Because a lot of new games are moving to that, where the first-person story mode is played online. Titanfall's almost going to be that way. The new...
Well, if it's a sort of drop-in, drop-out thing, that's
Yeah.
fine. If you can still play it on your own.
Destiny's going to be that way. Destiny looks fucking amazing.
Well, that's it. I think first-person shooters have almost run their course. They kind of came into vogue with Halo 2, and really people have been pushing it because it makes a lot of money. But how often can you do the same shit over and over?
Yeah.
And you can add.
But that's
you
why they're
can-
adding new stuff.
You can add your kill streaks, and you can add your perks, and you can add all these bonuses. But I think, something has to shift somewhere.
Yeah.
Gaming has to go somewhere else.
I think that's why, they stopped making Halo at Bungie. Now they're making Destiny, and it looks completely different. You still have that first-person shooter, vision, but everything to the story mode and everything on how you drop in, drop out of the game. And when you come to a major event, it'll bring other people that are at that event as well, taking down the same unit, and they can help you. And then, you can move along with your story mode with your friends, and then they can move along with theirs. It just seems to be so much of a different type of game, and it's almost like an MMO, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see how rich they can make these sort of things. 'Cause I don't
Just
know.
watch a video of it, because it looks
Well,
amazing.
even
I'm so
with
impressed
GTA
by it.
5 stepping up to doing you have the multiple viewpoints where you can jump from character to character, or it'll automatically jump you from character to character. Which it's doing is yet to be determined, but they're taking it that next step further because they're trying to expand it so it's not the same.
The thing about jumping
gameplay.
character I like is that if you were playing as one character and doing a story mission and you just jump to another character that's not in a story mission, you see him doing like his regular life. Like they showed one guy just walking with his kid and like riding his bike and he gets off, he's yelling at him. Like that was pretty cool. Like what would he be doing? And then the other guy you jump to and he was actually like robbing something, so he's like in a getaway chase and you gotta like try to fix that since you jumped in the last minute.
You can watch your friends on television as they're being chased by the police.
Nice.
Like,
and I think I've purposely tried to stay away from a lot of the videos and all that stuff because I want to power it up and just experience the game completely as fresh as I can. I mean, I've watched the trailers, like the official trailers, and that's it, pretty much. Scoped out the soundtracks because, they leaked all that stuff, and that was always a huge thing for me because I think it makes it more immersive.
What do you typically listen to? I don't know. You listen to the music stations you listen to. Like, for me, I'm a fan of the talk radio because it's so over the top.
Yeah, what is that guy's name on there?
Laszlo.
I was into it on Grand Theft Auto 4, but when Vice City came out for the Xbox, you were able to play your own stations, like bring in your own music, and that's all I did. I played all my own music all the time.
Okay, so Vice City for me, again, the talk, like, for whatever reason, the talk radio always grabs my attention because it's funny.
Especially, and that's why Vice City was on my list, they picked every song for a specific reason. It really set the tone for the entire game. So and if you're playing like a Call of Duty or whatever, it's cool to have your own music in the background, but...
No, it's not, because I don't want to hear your music through your headset coming through mine blaring, because you're an asshole.
I just scream in the headset.
I just mute everybody that's like that. All a lot of whiny people, too. We're out at time if we'd like to wrap up shortly.
Yeah, I think...
Let's get to the jelly bean.
Yeah, we've pretty much covered everything. Top 10 list, so you guys know a little bit more about our games and kind of what we're into. So I guess we'll catch you in episode 2. Till then, we're some kind of monkeys, and so are you.
Thanks a lot. Good
Peace
game.
out.